The NHS have drawn up plans to start vaccinating 12-year-olds from the first week that schools go back, according to an article in today's Telegraph. There it is. We broke that story last night on Tonight Live. Most disturbingly, health officials have reportedly said that children would not need parental consent under the school's jabs programme. Now, this is confusing because last month the Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunisation, the JCVI, said as follows: the minimal health benefits of offering universal COVID-19 vaccination to children do not outweigh the potential risks. But then, 2 weeks later, Professor Jonathan Van Tam, the Deputy Chief Medical Officer, said the following. He said it was more likely rather than less likely that the rollout among 12 to 15-year-olds would be expanded. This is confusing, so try to keep up. JCVI members have appeared increasingly divided over the issue. Earlier this week, Professor Adam Finn said the group was taking a very cautious approach to the advice on vaccinating younger children. So do they believe in this, or do they not? Meanwhile, just to add to the confusion, Professor Wei Shen Lim, the chairman of the group's COVID-19 subcommittee, said earlier this month that the committee will obviously want to protect 12 to 15-year-olds with vaccines. Now, wait a minute. Protect 12-year-olds? Protect? Surely that is strange language. How can you say you're protecting a group that are statistically not seriously threatened by a disease? That's like protecting me against pregnancy or getting me to wear a seatbelt on my motorbike. Now, vaccines are currently being offered to those aged 16 and 17. People in this age group are only being offered one dose, with the JCVI yet to make a decision on whether or not a second jab should be given. What's going on? Is it just me, or are they making this up as they go along? Now, this is already happening in Ireland, and here's the thing. Haven't children suffered enough? School closures, exam chaos, closed playgrounds, the bleak dystopia of online learning. Social isolation, boredom and anxiety have become a daily feature of their lives for the last year and a half, with referrals to children's mental health groups through the roof. Given the mild and, in most cases, non-existent impact of COVID on children, how can any risk from a vaccine be justified? Children, of course, are vaccinated against measles, mumps and rubella because these are diseases which can be devastating to children and in many cases fatal. And the seasonal flu is noticeably more dangerous to young children than COVID, and thousands are jabbed for it every winter as a result. And we have years of real-world evidence about not just the effectiveness of these particular jabs, but their potential risks. Now, I welcome the arrival of all of the vaccines. Don't forget, I'm double jabbed myself. But when medics sign up for the profession, they agree to a Hippocratic oath, which is first, do no harm. Needlessly vaccinating children sets another more worrying precedent, which is the principle that we need these vaccines with which to get back to normal life, and that we're dependent on big pharma rather than public health and strong immunity for the foreseeable future. Top-up jabs, once or twice a year for every adult, jabs for children. Where does this end? The inconvenient truth is that, notwithstanding old age and comorbidities, COVID is otherwise a predominantly lifestyle-related illness, which most viciously attacks those in poor metabolic health. In the United States, 79% of COVID admissions to intensive care have involved people who are overweight or obese. So welcome though these vaccines are for the prevention of more severe illness and death, they don't seem to offer herd immunity or significantly blunt rates of transmission, which means we've got to wean ourselves off the idea of endlessly jabbing everyone for the foreseeable future. We've got to understand that the real vaccine in the long term is better public health. The issue is no one makes money out of that, and there's your problem.